Okay. All right. We talked about major mistake number one, which is trying to appeal to everyone and scattering yourself in a withering, never-ending attempt to be the expert at everything. Then we talked about mistake number two, which was making your practice inadvertently look like a luxury purchase instead of a need. Mistake number three was promoting yourself as emotionally intuitive or spiritually advanced, which kind of every single health and wellness practitioner considers themselves to be an expert in that very same thing. Um, and and instead of making sure that a client with limited funds uh, can uh, uh, can trust giving those funds to you, and that you will provide a credible result for them as the main obstacle to them spending money. All right. Now, mistake number four is having the culture of your practice be practitioner centered rather than client centered. All right. And this is, most practitioners in health and wellness, they feel that their culture and their beliefs are very important to them. And so they have a very strong sense of mission. And I just want to say that your clients also have feel very strongly about their culture and their beliefs, and they have a strong sense of mission too. So that can create a clash in your clinical practice between you and the client. Um, Alternative medicine practitioners generally embrace alternative culture, right? They're kind of in the alternative culture scene, and that leaves the mainstream or the majority kind of greatly underserved in health and wellness, right? Just think about, you know, um, uh, just think about some examples that you have of the mainstream culture in your head. In fact, one of the clinicians in our pre-conversation chat talked about her home town, a small rural hometown that nobody had ever even heard of Ayurveda, and they were just kind of, in her words, light years behind, right? Or in the health and wellness trends, right? So, um, so how is she going to serve that? How is she going to serve that market? Thank you. I see that. How is she going to serve the people in her town? What does it mean for this clinician to reach across the divide and promote her practice in a way that would be accepted by the culture of her hometown? And is she accepting of the culture in her hometown, or has she rejected the culture of her hometown? These are important questions. Now, I'm not saying whether that practitioner accepted or rejected the culture of her hometown, but many alternative medicine providers tend to take a kind of alternative cultural approach as well, and may, in their heart, harbor a rejection of the majority of people in their area. And they may even have an aversion to serving the group of people that they're expecting to pay money to see them. And that's a kind of, your clients in that case can feel that. And so you want to be really cautious there, that you're building a patient-centered practice where you're appealing to the culture of your clients and not yourself, right? Um, so yeah, the mainstream, what we would call the mainstream, and who even knows whether that mainstream is a majority or a minority, but whether, these days, whether mainstream is a majority or not, it's still a significant portion of the population that is greatly underserved in health and wellness. And everyone I know who, um, whether regardless of what social group you're in these days, is very interested in health and wellness. But are they purchasing it? Well, that depends on, are they purchasing services from your clinic? Well, that depends on how diverse you allow your audience to be. How good are you at reaching both political parties? For example, are all of your, um, you know, are you able to serve Republicans and Democrats alike? Are you able to serve religious people as well as spiritual people? Are you able to serve baseball players as well as yogis? Are you able to serve country clients as well as cosmopolitan clients? What about people who don't have a college education as opposed to those who do? What about the fireman in your town, or the police officers, or the lawyers, or the public school teachers, or the right? Think about what is the culture of your client base or cultures of your client base, and if there is anything that you might be doing to alienate them. Now, sometimes you might choose one of these groups as a target market. Your whole clinic may be about baseball players, right? Your whole clinic may be about serving an urban population, and that can be very successful. But if it's not the mission of your business and it's not your primary focus, you don't want to like filter out tons of people from all different walks of life, even though they have nothing to do with your primary or target market. All right. So some other questions to ask. Are you asking clients to adopt an unfamiliar or new culture just to relieve their acid reflux? Right. When a client walks into your clinic, do they feel like they're walking into a whole new world? Do they feel like they belong in that world? Do they feel like they will be able to understand you? Right? Is your practice of providing a medical service, or does it feel more like faith healing? Again, all of these different choices are can be very successful. Um, if that's your primary focus. But if it's the secondary or tertiary or even not a real focus, you want to make sure that you are not alienating people. So posting political messages on social media. Too many spiritual symbols may feel like it's a different culture. Wearing clothing from another culture, or using lots of foreign words or obscure terminology, right? In Ayurveda, there's a lot of Sanskrit thrown around, and your clients may not have any idea what any of that means. Even words like Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which which we take for granted, your client are like they don't even know how to say that, right? Sometimes they don't even know how to say the word Ayurveda. Okay, so those are some can create a real cultural obstacle to clients adopting your practice. And I'm going to talk about how to overcome that. But the main thing is I don't want your clients to feel alienated. I don't want your clients to silently turn away or ignore you or feel embarrassed to recommend their practice, right? Now, the client may embrace what you have to offer, but will they feel comfortable telling their boss or their mom or dad or their sister, brother, or friend? Do they know whether their friend would be as accepting as they are about your practice? Right? What about the community at the Baptist church up the corner, or the synagogue, or the, or wherever your client goes to worship? What about their doctor friend or their lawyer friend? Right? So, if your practice is focused on digestive wellness, for example, can anyone with a digestive problem refer any one of their friends with a digestive problem to your practice and feel completely comfortable doing that? Right? What about referral network, other professionals? What if you have a medical doctor in town that's a gastroenterologist that's really open to alternative health and wellness? I've had, there's a medical doctor in Asheville that refers gastrointestinal clients to me. Now, they're only going to do that if they feel like um, any person, regardless of whatever culture or belief system or ethnicity or whatever else comes to me, that they're going to feel completely comfortable. And they may not even know the cultural sensitivities of their clientele. So they just want to know that they send client to you and client feels better. That's what the referral network wants to know, right? Um, a patient-centered care clinic A clinic that has patient-centered care focuses on the culture of the client, not the culture of the medicine, not the culture of the practitioner. Right? So you may reach out to a particular audience that has a particular culture, and it may be your culture, and then that's great. Then there's no problem with that. Um, the primary messaging in your clinic should focus on clinical success rates, as medicine is about your ability to provide relief. And and within the session, within the consultation, there's always plenty of opportunity to emotionally connect and suggest remedies to your client within the client's cultural paradigm. All right, so we went through four major mistakes: trying to appeal to everyone, promoting your practice as a luxury purchase, competing for recognition as emotionally advanced with every other health and wellness practitioner, and having a practitioner centered culture instead of a patient centered culture in your clinic.